Who and welcome and thanks for joining on my stream. I was watching the last few minutes of the chat already, and yeah, you guys are pretty funny. So first of all, the Dota 2 music pack. So the songs will be released on all platforms, but not yet in Dota 2. But they will be released on all platforms the next Friday, July 20th. So you can listen to all the music and download it and do everything. But it won't be in Dota 2 yet. They're gonna wait after the international, the tournament, because then now it's all about the tournament, and after the international is over, I think it's August 25th. After that time, somewhere they will release it. Yeah. So audio is out of sync once more. Okay, let me check. Sometimes it changes the audio. Give me a second. So that's it. Okay, so I gotta. Let me know if the audio's in sync now. Okay, no, this time it didn't fix itself. This time it was me. I just delayed the audio a little bit, 600 milliseconds. Cool. It might jump once more at some point. Someone was asking if you need the graphic card that I have for music production. No, you don't. It's because I also play games with that computer. Okay. Now, oh yeah, someone's asking for Mayday on the Arcadium. Yeah, it's because the guys who run the site, I'm not doing this directly myself. They're all on vacation now, and they've been for quite a while now. And so yeah, sorry. What game do I play? Couple of games. Rainbow Six Siege is the one that I play the most at the moment. I'm not so much into the Battle Royale games, personally. What's Pet Lolly? What's that? I don't know. Terraria. What is Pet Lolly? We still want to hear the project where you sang Monarchy. No, I was not singing Monarchy. It was The Calling, which was even worse than Monarchy. Pet her on the back. Who? I don't have that. I don't have still don't have, because I have to get the old PC that I was producing on, and then I have to climb under this thing here and into the dust, and then connect the old PC and disconnect all the gazillion cables from the actual PC and get the old PC running again to get that file where I was singing The Calling. So maybe I will do it one day, and I will present to you my version of The Calling, because Laura, I just sent for those who don't know it, I was talking about it the last time. I wrote The Calling together with another guy, and I sent it to Laura, but I was singing it myself, and then she sang it, which sounded way better. Cool, let's get to music production. So today we're gonna do one more track from the Dota music pack. It's another glitch hop sort of thing. And yeah, let's start. So first we make some chords. So let me make this a little smaller. So I'm starting with a chord progression here. And we're gonna take the synthesizer silent. And make a very simple sound. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so today I'm just gonna explain the very basics. So for those who are not very familiar with music production as well, so I'm just gonna explain every step and why I do it. So we're starting with this synthesizer here. It's a very common synthesizer. It's called Silent. And so when you open it up and you put in the init patch that I have here, so it's just what it does now. You can see it very small here. So it's just one oscillator, and it tells the speaker to move forward slowly, and then all of a sudden move all the way back, and then move forward slowly, and then all of a sudden move all the way back. So that sounds like this. So it's just one oscillator. You can also tell it to move differently. Like this is more like swinging. It sounds like this. Or you can tell it to go all the way into what direction, then like go more like this, right? But of course, much faster. It sounds like that. It's more like a video game sort of sound. So we're gonna use this oscillator here. And we're not gonna use one and not two. So this would be two oscillators slowly, slightly detuned. So one oscillator slightly higher and one slightly lower. It sounds like this. This is when it's heavily detuned. This is when it's just a little detuned. And we're gonna use 8 of them. So it sounds like this. Somewhere here. Okay, so next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut away some frequencies. So this is the oscillator, this is the sound we have. And now you can just cut away the high frequencies. All right, you could also cut away the low frequencies. It sounds like this. So you just have this part of the sound. That would be the full. This is when you cut them away, but usually, often you cut away the high frequencies. So we cut them away, but now we have a very soft sound. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna tell this knob here to move automatically. And so this, as you can see, is the cutoff. So we're gonna tell the cutoff here to move automatically. So, and we're gonna do this through an envelope. So, and we define how fast the envelope moves. So we say, okay, just go up real quick and then slowly close the filter whenever a note is hit. That's what we're gonna do. So now it does this. So basically, when I remove this and I make it like this, right? Now it does something like that, but it does it automatically whenever a note is hit. Yeah, makes sense, right? So, and that is basically already our very first simple sound. And I'm now gonna program some chords with this sound, and it goes like this. So, which chords did I have? Yeah, let me switch it down. Okay, so I'm gonna tweak the sound a little more. And what I'm also gonna do is, when the sound stops, it won't stop all of a sudden, but instead it will still go on for a little bit. I do it right here. Okay, so, and in case you're wondering, so when I say I'm just going to program some chords, chords means just that it's a couple of notes playing at the same time. Usually 3 or more, which you have here, it's three notes. Okay. And when you have chords, and when you think, this is for if you produce music yourself, if you think they are too dark for whatever reason, you can always move one note an octave higher. So an octave means 12 semitones, because as you can see here, the pattern here on the keyboard repeats, and this note is basically the same note like this one. It's just, if you would put it in frequencies, it would be twice as much, but it's the same note, just higher, right? Like this is a different note. This, let me make like this. Those are the same notes, just an octave. So what we can do is we can take this one here, for example, this, it's an F, and we can just move it an octave higher, just by pressing Shift and up right here. Then we have the same chord, but in another, it's called another inversion. So it's inverted. It's the same chord because it's the same note, like here, but it's another inversion. So this is a good way. This is another nice way to keep the chord progression interesting by using different inversions. And let's take this one on. All right. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. I swallow. I breathe in with some spit. So I breathe some spit into my lungs. Not very clever. I don't recommend it. But other than that, I'm fine. Okay. Okay, now I can relate to that. So now that we have those chords, we're gonna give them some depth. And those of you who watch my stream or have already watched my stream, you already know what I'm gonna do next. Who knows what I'm gonna do next? What am I gonna add here next? Horns? No. I mean, what an effect. If we want to give some depth. Yeah, reverb's close. No, yeah, EQ is pretty good. Actually, we could put some EQ here. No, some delay. Almost. Yeah, exactly. Some delay. So we're gonna go to audio effects, delays, and I'm gonna use replica here again. So replica is in delay, and what replica does is, so if I play it without replica, a note, it sounds like this. Or let me. So if I play a note, it sounds like this. If I put a replica on, it sounds like this. So it puts in basically an echo. An echo on the sound. And the reason I'm doing this is gonna give the whole sound some feeling of depth. So this is very dry right now. I mean, this is very dry right now. And we want to give the whole sound a feeling of depth. So I'm adding this delay. So whenever a note gets played, it has this echo on it. So this is just the echo signal. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut away all the high frequencies and the low frequencies, so the echo sounds like this. You see that it sounds a lot thinner. And So when I have the dry signal, this is the dry signal, and I add a little bit of this. You hear those little echoes. And when I put this on the chord, it sounds like this. Once more without. Like this. And this is with a delay. Okay, and then we want to make some glitch hoppy sort of thing, which means we're gonna add a groove here. And I'm gonna take the MPC swing here once more, 64. And so on. Now it sounds like this. Yeah, glitch hobby sort of thing, because it's not actually glitch hop, because glitch hop would be with glitch. And what we're gonna do is not glitch. So glitch means that you have different samples and sounds that are just cut off and glitch into each other, which we're not gonna do. So it's glitch hop, but without glitch. So it's hop or whatever. That's why I called it glitch hoppy sort of thing. But what's typical for glitch hop is that it has around 100 to 110 beats per minute, which we have here. We are at 107 beats per minute, and it's shuffled. Which is what we're doing, what I'm going to show you right now. So, also those of you who already watched my stream already know this. So what it's going to do now, it's going to take every second 16th and push it back a little bit. So those two notes here won't really be affected, because there's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the sixth. Very spitty stream today. Hope the microphone is fine. So the sixth note will be pushed back. So, but this is not destructive. If I press this knob here, you will see what it actually does. It pushes the note back this much, and it makes those notes a little longer. But I do non-destructively, so I can still work on the grid here. Because if you would always work like that, I would always have to go this and push them back manually. Yeah, so that's why I do it this way. So if I have it without the shuffle, it sounds like this. If I turn the shuffle on, sounds like this. Alright, and now we're gonna add some bass. Very nice, soft, simple bass. And the bass will just play the bottom notes of those chords here. So I'm just gonna, first of all, delete those notes, the upper ones. And the bass will be very similar to the sound that we have. It's almost the same thing, but not quite. So, once more, I'm going to take the same synthesizer. Excuse me. And we're going to do the same thing. Take 8 oscillators, detune them slightly. Sounds like this. Let me turn. And then we're going to take a filter. You already know all the stuff right now. And then automate the filter. Something like that. But we need some different notes here, because this is not the bottom note, because we're in B minor, so it would be this here. We need the notes once more. Oops. A little longer. And we need the swing. Oh, it's already swinged. And here on the very end, we're gonna have a slight variation on the bass. And we're gonna play it like this. Okay, so what's different here now? First of all, we're gonna use now an EQ, and on the chords, make them a little less dull. So make them a little more brighter. We're gonna just take the low frequencies and remove them a little bit. And on the bass, we're not gonna add the delay. So this is why it's important to have the bass separately here, because we want the bass frequencies to be really clean. So the delay will always overlap, because when this chord is played and the next chord comes in, the echo of those notes will still overlap into these chords and these notes here. And it's okay with the high frequencies. They don't mesh up that much. But which I can show you right now. So if I have this sound here, so if I play like 3 notes, oh wait, I'm gonna do it. So if I play 3 notes here, this sounds pretty clean. But if I play the same 3 notes much lower, right? This sounds very, very, they don't mix. It doesn't sound good. It just sounds almost like a rumbling of thunder. So, the lower in the frequencies you get, the more you have to separate the notes from each other. So that means that low frequencies don't mix well with each other. Mixing high frequencies with each other, those are the same 3 notes. It's no problem. You can even do like this. A lot of notes, right? And the lower you get, the more it just gets awkward. And that's the reason why we want the bass to have no delay on it, no reverb as well on the bass. Just very clean. And now we're gonna add some reverb to the chords here. No, it's here, audio effects. Oops. To give it more space. So this is without reverb. This is with reverb. Cool. And next I want to give those chords a more natural feeling. So I'm gonna double the chords, take exactly the same notes, and use another sound that's gonna play the same, exactly the same notes. And that's just a preset from Omnisphere here. And it's called Marimbula. Marimbula. And it was the one with, I think this one here. It's a huge preset here. It's 1.5 gigabyte. Oh, and this is too low, so we have to octavize it. Okay, so we have this sound here, and this is a little still not clean enough. So we're gonna take out the low frequencies here to make it fit better to this sound here. Oh yeah, this has a lot of low frequencies here, which we're gonna take away. And this sound already has some reverb sort of thing, but I'm just gonna add the same delay. Right, the echo. Okay, so this is without the additional sound. And this is with the additional sound. Nice. So those are the chords, and now we're just gonna add a melody. And the melody will be made out of 3 different sounds. It is one preset from Nexus, which I also used quite a few times. So whenever this is a cool, maybe something you should think about. Whenever I get new sounds from somewhere, for example, a new sound library for Nexus, I listen through all the sounds, every single one of them, and think about how I could use them. And this one here was, when you own Nexus, you get every Christmas, you can see, you get a sound extension for free, where they just demo other sounds that they have. And so this one, those are arpeggiated. And this one immediately was stuck with me. And this is arpeggiated, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off the arpeggiator. So just play single notes. And also I'm gonna switch off the delay for now, and later on I'm gonna switch off the reverb, but not right now. And let me paint the melody here. So we're on 16th here, and once again we need the swing here. So and this one's gonna repeat. we're gonna make a little variation here. So what I just did is I copied the whole thing, right? This here. And then oops, not exactly like this. I copied it here, and then I moved the notes around, but I only moved them around vertically, not horizontally, which means the rhythm stays the same, right? Because the rhythm is dum da dum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba da bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum bum, right? The rhythm is the same, but the notes change slightly. That's how that helps to make the melody catchy. Because you already kind of know what it does, because it repeats the rhythm exactly, but it still changes, because the notes that it plays are different. And that's basically what we're gonna do now once more. This is a fun part. This is something that I never did before, was that we repeat the whole melody, but with different notes. So instead of playing this note, we're gonna play this one. So instead of dum da dum dum dum, we're gonna play dum da dum dum dum. Instead of dum da dum dum dum, we're gonna play dum da dum dum dum. Let me show you. Okay, so from the start once more. And we're gonna repeat this. Dun, 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 dun. Like this. Cool. And now we're going to turn off the reverb. So this is the melody for this part. Yes, the scale is mainly, so most of my music, not all, what I often use for this stuff is it's pentatonic. So, let me find the pentatonic scale here. Right. The VC Synth Master, also something you can need, and the best thing that's free. Synth Master, I'm gonna write that down, thanks. So yeah, that's the scale I'm using is pentatonic. That's sort of also when it comes to music writing, not the sound, but that's a thing that I use, and that's kind of uncommon, and that's why a lot of people say it sounds like me, is I use the melodies on a pentatonic scale, but the chords are not on a pentatonic scale, especially when you listen to the chords. Let's use this. This one here, it's kind of out of the scale even. It's even out of the diatonic scale. For those of you who are musicians, so it's B minor, right? Then it's D flat major, which is the parallel chord to B minor. But then comes an E flat major, which doesn't really fit in, because when you're in B minor, it would be E flat minor and not a major chord. And it's this note here. This would usually would be like this. Right? But this one here, that's kind of the spicy thing, the spice in there. So the scales for the chords are not even diatonic, but the melody at the same time is pentatonic. Very simple. Okay, enough of those musicians talk. We're gonna add some different sound here. And this is a little similar to Windfall. I think I used those two sounds here in Windfall as well. And this is an interesting sound, which gives it a little organic feeling here. And it's from Omnisphere. It's not really a patch or a preset. It's from the sample library. And they have those... No, it's Loom... Something with Loom. Luminosonic. Okay. So what they did here, they sampled light bulbs. Is it bulbs or bulbs? I don't know. So as you can see here, they just took them and they hit them slightly. And it sounds like this. I don't know. Original pitch, maybe something like this. Okay. So... And what I have to do now is make the first notes a little longer. I think. And next comes a Kygo-esque sound. Melody. So this melody. So this is melody pluck. This is melody light. Let's call it melody bulb. This is melody res. A melody res for a certain reason. So it's gonna play the same melody, and we're gonna take the synthesizer Diva. So when you just have it, oops, that's a huge synthesizer. So what makes this sound a little like Kygo? What Kygo did is he didn't use. You remember when we built the sound here with the oscillator? So you have the whole sound starts with an oscillator, and then you filter stuff away. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make it whole differently, because we're not gonna use an oscillator, but we're gonna use noise, just noise. Now, how do we make this a sound? With a filter, and we're gonna use a multi-mode filter. So I can use a filter, and this just doesn't cut away. Yay! Every stream's microphone drop. Mic drop. This filter here doesn't cut away the high frequencies or the low frequencies. This one just leaves through a small band of frequencies. So it sounds like this, right? So this is, it only leaves through the low frequencies, the mid frequencies, high frequencies. And what we can do now is we can make this filter resonate on its own at its frequencies. And it sounds like this. So we have the noise here. Let me turn this up a little bit. So we have the noise. Right? So once more, this is just the noise. Ouch. This is the bandpass. And now we make the filter at its frequency resonate. And if it fully resonates, we have a note. But this is different sort of note than when you use an oscillator, because it's more, it's not that steady, it's kind of shaky, right? So, because it's not an oscillator, but a resonating filter. So now, whatever key I play, it's always the same, so I have to make it here. This means keyboard, which means the filter follows the keyboard. Now I can play it. Cool, so now does this. I'm gonna make it. Cool, and then we're gonna make it a little wider. So this is the whole sound, built out of 3 different sounds. This is the melody as master. So I'm gonna put it all here. I think this needs some. Huh. Should I really have it like this? Sounds a little dirty to me. Okay, anyway, so nice clip. Okay, so now we want to add some depth to the sound. What are we gonna do? Evan Dickinson is asking, what's the benefit of using Valhalla Vintage Verb over Ableton stock reverb plugin? I personally just like it better. Yeah, stereo delay. Yay, exactly. Yeah, I just like the reverb, the Valhalla reverb better. By the way, the Valhalla reverb's not really expensive. I think it's like $50 or $50 or something. So it's I think a lot of professionals use it. A lot of producers. It's like the standard reverb, so it's really worth the money. Okay, so you're right. We're gonna add some delay to add some depth to the song. In this case, let's use a stereo delay, so ping pong delay. Ping pong means that it's on it. You will see. Let me just show you. So if we play one note, it sounds like it does this. So it, oh wait, right? So once on the left side, once on the right side, and then it ping pongs back and forth. I think I have this 1 octave too low. The whole thing. Yeah, this is how it should be. So this is without the delay. Very dry. And the delay itself, once again, is, it doesn't sound like this, but we thin it out. Make the delay real thin. And then add some reverb. Okay, so now I'm gonna take away or rebuild the sound, the whole. So this is the first sound we used. This is the second. And this is the third. Now I'm gonna take away, so you can hear the whole thing. If I take away the last one that we made, you see it loses the width. Sounds much more thinner. If I take away this one here, it kind of loses the sharpness. Doesn't cut through that much. And this is just too lush. It doesn't have the punch anymore. Cool. Let's add a kick drum. And just for the floor, which means just gonna go on every beat. I'm gonna take a sample from my sample library, TheFatRat, the Lab Rat, Volume 1. And it's called, which one is it? I wrote it down. Kick mono, yeah, this one here. And cool, now we're gonna add some sort of sidechain compression, because right now it doesn't really, they don't really still match together. So the kick drum's kinda just slapped on top of the instrumental, right? You just add the kick drum and just slapped on top. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna merge all those together, the instrumental here. So now I have them all merged into one channel, a group here. And I'm just gonna use a plugin that pushes back the volume on the downbeat, which is similar to sidechain compression. It's just more convenient to do it this way. Those who watch my stream on a regular basis already know it. So if I push this to the extreme, it sounds like this. Right? This is too much. Just a little bit. So this is without the plugin. This is with the plugin. So now it just has this pump. Yeah, this plugin again. It's called One Knob Pumper from Waves. Okay, and then just put an hi-hat on the offbeat. Just between every kick drum, we're gonna just have a and the sample, I already have it here. Just a very simple hi-hat sample. We're gonna Cool. What else do we have? Yeah, tambourine. Which is pretty similar to the hi-hat. It's not that similar that I would name it hi-hat though. Okay, and I took it out of Stylus RMX. So this is Stylus RMX. It has a lot of, it's just a drum sampler. It's really old. I think like 10 years old or something like that. Today, people don't use it that much anymore, but I still have it, so I use it. So we're gonna have a tambourine. You know what a tambourine is? This wood thing with a lot of shell into it, and you just smack it on your hand. You will hear in a second. Where is it? Where is it? Percussions, I think, and then tambourines. Yeah. So, yeah, this, you know, pss, pss, pss. And just gonna follow the hi-hat, and on every second beat, I'm gonna add another one here. And since we should always apply our groove also to this one here and to the kick drum. Oops. And what I want to have with a tambourine, I want to have it really wide. So here's a trick how you can make this signal, how you can make it wide. And you do it with a so-called, it's in waves, it's called doubler. So what the doubler does is it takes the signal and it pitches the signal slightly. Let me show this with let me make a new instrument so I can show you what it does. Because, you know, I want you to understand what I'm doing, otherwise the whole thing doesn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna make very simple sound here. So this is just a saw that we started the whole song with. And now if we take the doubler on it, and we just take let's take the left signal, right? And then it's pitched down slightly, so it's just detuned or pitched up slightly. So this is, you just detune it a little bit, 6 cents. So that's a cent is 100th. I told you it's a spitty stream today. 100th of semitone. So very slightly detuned. So if we take the original signal and the new signal, which is pitched by 1/100th of a semitone, it sounds like that. And we take the other signal on the right side and we pitch it down by 6/100th of a semitone. And now we have a wide signal. It's basically as if I would have 3 oscillators here, right? And detune them. I could either do that, have 3 oscillators, or do this, same thing. But with the tambourine, you don't have any oscillators. So how are you gonna do that? With the doubler. So here's what it does. We're gonna take the tambourine and pitch it down, or 6 semitones, and pitch it up 6 semitones, and put the one on the right side, one on the left side. And now our tambourine sounds like this instead of this. So if you listen to it on headphones, you see a very, you can hear a clear difference. Or you should have like speakers be in the middle center of your speakers. You can hear a clear difference from this to that. I'm gonna make those every. Do you use something the reverb that gets louder at the end? Is there quite a main place using the? Oh yeah, you made a gated reverb. No, I don't really use it a lot. It doesn't really get. Yeah, you when you have a gated reverb and then put a compressor on it, it does that thing. But a similar effect is when, so here we have the pumper is after the reverb, and that is the reason why I have the reverb in the insert here, right? So it is first the reverb and delay is added, and then it gets to the pumper. So the pumper also pumps the reverb, and that's a little bit has a similar effect sometimes. Cool, so that's what we have here. What else do we have? Yeah, so I'm not gonna program all the rest here for you. I'm just gonna steal some stuff. Current project? Wasn't it supposed to be in here? Ah, okay. Wait, give me a second. Because now I'm just gonna have to add some small details. Let me see. The TheFatRat tracks, work in progress, .t music pack, lining to stream. Yeah. So I just had this thing here. Yeah. And the stick fill. This is just a side stick here. And this. And that. So I once again took them out of stylus. Oops. This one here. So it's from stylus. And altogether it sounds like this. Okay, on the second half here, we need something to lift it up a little more. Alright, this is okay. But now, we need something more. So, if somebody watched the stream last week, any idea what we could add here? Because I'm gonna add one thing that I use a lot, and I told it last stream. Any idea what we could ask to make this go a little more forward? Contact? No. A voice? No. Something. No. Just on top of here. A banana is a great idea. We could add a banana. But it might get a little messy. So we're gonna use the Sun Piano. Yes, Sun Piano. Sun Piano from Nexus, one of my favorite sounds. Yeah, or a banana, exactly. No, bassline wouldn't really work. Because bassline, if you really add a bassline on top of this, it would take away the attention. And you already have your center, the focus. And I don't recycle the sounds, usually don't recycle the sounds that are in the center, so I make them new for every song. But those that are really in the background, I recycle them a lot. For example, this one here, which I felt like I used for the last 10 years in every second song. And nobody ever said, oh, you're recycling that sound. So it's from Nexus. Here it is, Nexus. And it's piano, and then it's Sun Piano. That's the sound called. And I'm gonna use the chords that I'm thinking about. Now I'm gonna draw the chords real quick. So this is piano off. And let me turn it down a little bit. Oops. Okay, so it's not done yet. Wait, give me a second. So this is the sound. I need full velocity here. And then let's listen to the dry sound. This has way too much release, so after the note stops, it's still going on for way too long, so let's turn this down. And this one as well. Just a little bit. Now add the reverb. And we have to... yeah, I'm gonna take the pumper again here and make it a really strong pumper on this one. Then. I think I could use another inversion. So, which means it could be still brighter. Like, yeah, that's better. And then we're gonna clean away all the low frequencies. To get it really clean. More reverb, maybe. So. Yeah, somebody said in the chat, this is a gentle drop. Right. That is because this is for the Dota 2 music pack, and this is one of the laning tracks. So this is one of the tracks that always plays in the background when nothing really is happening. That's the reason why I wanted to make something that's kind of uplifting, but still smooth, like not really in your face crazy, because you're supposed to be listening to it for quite a long time. It's different than the battle tracks, for example. Those are very intense, and especially the track when you battle Roshan, but I'll talk about that later. Someone said this sounds, it reminds me of time-lapse. Yeah, that's interesting that you notice it. It's a very similar chord progression. The chord progression, so those chords here. So, chord progression is very similar. Cool. No, not really like... Yeah, no, not really like Xenogenesis. Doesn't really have anything to do with... Well, what's similar to Xenogenesis? So one thing that I like to do is use major chords. So the chords themselves are major, but the scale they're used on is minor. So that's a thing that I really like to do, which is kind of uncommon. So the chord progression that I use here is not very common, and the way the chords are arranged, this system of using major chords on minor chord scales, that's uncommon, so people associate it sometimes with me. By the way, one artist who used it a lot as well was Michael Jackson, for example. So when some of his chord progressions are very similar, or yeah, not because he was inspired by me, because of I was inspired by this and a couple of other artists. Whenever I hear this sort of chord progression, I really think like, oh, that's cool, that's special. Yeah, that's why. But other than that, it doesn't have really anything to do with the Xenogenesis. Cool. So this is what we have so far. And now I'm just going to show you the rest of the track. I'm not going to build the whole thing here, but you now saw the essentials. I'm just going to load the rest of the track. I think it's this one here. Should I save this now? Yeah, the reason why it sounds a little bit like Windfall or Monody or whatever is because it's this what I called glitch hoppy sort of thing. It's once again, it's something that nobody or very few people do is use a tempo between 100 and 110 and then shuffle it. This is usually only done in glitch hop, but it's not done in this way, and that's the reason. So yeah, the reason is because very few people do it. So this is the whole project. So here we have the chords, bass, melody, the kick, yeah, it has more reverb on it, I just noticed now. And so this, you know this already. Yeah, the tambourine, the piano. Okay, so as you can hear, there's a B section, which means it's a section with different chords. And also what's important is here the chords change every 2 beats. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Every 2 beats, 1, 2, next chord. 1, 2, next chord. 1, 2, next chord. 1, 2, next chord. In the B section, this slows down and it's 1 chord every 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, next chord. 1, 2, 3. There's 1 chord in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, next chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, next chord. Okay, and then I've added just a very simple pad to give it some smoothness here. And then just change the melody from this. To that. Oh, and I've added a side stick sound. This one here. So it does this. Okay, and now what we're gonna do next. And this, like I said, this is a laning track in Dota 2, so it's supposed to be run really smooth. Don't be too nervous or anything. So we just want to repeat the whole melody, but with a different instrument. And I used this koto sort of thing here, which is some synthesizer, a real koto. And I think this is the real koto. Yeah, and a shamisen on the left side. It's also a sound combination that I really like. All 3 together. And it comes in like that. Here I have replaced the pad with strings. Yeah, and that's basically it. Then we have a little breakdown, repeat the whole thing once more. Oh, it's slightly different, the melody. It's And one thing that was really important for me is when you play Dota 2, those background musics, they kind of start randomly. So you just have those atmospheres, which are some nature sounds running in the background. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Q&A in a minute, no worries. So you have those nature sounds running in the background, and of course the game sounds whenever you slash something or whatever it is, or your footsteps, I think, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the music starts randomly, those laning music. And what was important for me is that it doesn't interrupt your experience. So it's not like boom, oh, there's some music. So this is why all the laning music starts very smooth, and this track does it like this. Yeah, exactly. Flute, nature sounds. And then the chords come in. Oh no, music. Yeah. Yeah, so that was the intention, to make something that does not interrupt your gaming experience, because you're playing the game and you want just something that, that just comes in smooth and makes you feel good without interrupting your gaming experience. Cool. One last thing, let me show you what I did, what's kind of uncommon in the Dota music pack, is that the different songs pick up each other melody lines. So this is an orchestral piece that plays when you start the game, the countdown music. And yeah, just listen to it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you probably noticed it's this theme here, right? It's this. And then it goes up to this one here. Wait a second. So this here is this. So that's one thing, and also this is this track here. Now it picks up a different melody from a different song. Next, let me see which one it was. No, sorry. Yeah, this one here. So this is another laning track. So this melody, it's also part of this song, for example, that you just heard, right? Yeah, so this is the melody that you already just heard. Every day I read, it sounds like I die a little. Yeah, it's okay. So the reason why some things sound similar to each other is because I do certain things that nobody else does. If everybody would do them, everybody would say, yeah, it's just this genre of music. But when you do something very unique and you keep doing this unique thing, they sound alike. That's one of the reasons why they sound a little similar. Yeah, but what I'm doing on purpose here is I'm picking up different melodies. So this orchestral piece that you just heard, it picks up melodies from the different laning tracks and merges them together. Cool, let's do a Q&A. So much about that. The song here that you just heard. And let me switch so you can see me. Hit me with your questions. What VSTs would you recommend to start with for young artists who it's just fast, who are beginning with music production? For instruments, I think I would recommend Serum. Serum is great, or Sylenth, the one that you just saw. Sylenth was no, it's here, the chords. Wait a second. Yeah, Sylenth. Also great point to start. Synth is a little more simpler. Serum is a little more complicated, but therefore you can make more sounds with Serum. Both are very common, so you find a lot of patches, a lot of tutorials and stuff for it. How do you decide the names of your songs? I go by the feeling of by the song, and I also think about what would be sort of what would make the song complete. So what name would make the song complete, if that makes any sense. You ever gonna do a Skyrim music pack in the future? I don't think Skyrim. I could do like a mod thing. Maybe I will. Are you excited for Despacito 2? Yes, very much. I still have to do a lot of other stuff before I do Despacito 2. But once I'm finished with everything, I'm excited to start working on it. What song you think is the best one you made from the Dota 2 music pack? I think I like the instrumental, one of the instrumentals. No. This one here. I like this. I like when this part comes in. That is one of my favorite parts. Yeah, I think this is my favorite part. Okay, next question. I'm gonna skip all the old questions, and you just have to put them in again. Oh, you know, I've been thinking about maybe some orchestra music. I would have a lot of ideas. So what programs would I recommend if you want to make orchestral music? That's hard. This is the problem is with orchestral music, you need good sample libraries, and they're expensive. Oh wait, no, there's one thing. I think East West Quantum Leap Symphonic Orchestra. I think East West, they have this thing now where you can make a monthly subscription and you don't have to spend like you don't have to spend endless money, like spend $10,000 to have a decent pack. Check out this one here. I think I saw something like that. Yeah, somewhere it said it's $20 a month. Yeah, it's still maybe a little pricey for you. I don't know, but that's a good place to start. Please only one question at a time. Do you plan to use your own voice in one of your songs again? Yes, definitely. So because people are asking about it, I'm gonna release those songs that you heard today next Friday. All of them, but they won't be in Dota 2 already because they have to wait after the grand tournament, the international is finished, and once that is finished, they're gonna put my music in it. But I wanted to release the songs because I hated when people wait forever for those songs. So this will be out, and the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on another album. So it's gonna be 12 songs next Friday, and then I'm gonna work on 10 songs or 12 songs more, and I'm definitely gonna sing on those songs. Could you try mixing Puerto Rican trap with orchestra music? I'm not even sure. I'm gonna write that out. Puerto Rican rap. I'm gonna listen to some Puerto Rican rap, but not right now. Do you listen to drum and bass? Not that much. More 15 years ago or so. Not that much anymore. What software do you use combine the visuals and the song? I use After Effects to put together the videos. And someone said, what was the other question? What format do you render your songs right now? The final version is still CD quality, which is 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz. What's your favorite orchestra instrument? Mine's French horn. Yes, mine too. Your favorite operator in Rainbow Six Siege? I think it's Capcan, because you can still make a kill when you're already dead. One of those, where you're dead and you still make 3 kills, if you're lucky. I'm lazy, so I like to have the kills made by themselves. Okay, this is a great question. What is a good way to get chords to work in a song with a very strong lead without sounding messy? You have to make the chords softer, like the ones here, for example. So you can think of your mixing, you can think of it 3-dimensional. So you have the bass frequencies. So you have the bass frequencies and you have the high frequencies. You have left and right, but this is still 2 dimensions. So you always also have back and forth, right? You have the close signals and the far away signals. So if you don't want stuff to sound messy, make sure that the chords are further away. That's why in this song here, for example, you hear they sound pretty far away. That's also why I added the delay, for example. I added quite a bit of reverb and everything, so they sound far away, and obviously the melody is closer, right? And so if you think of it that way, like 3-dimensional thing, then it helps you mixing. Which music are you hearing, for instance, if you play games or drive with a car? Nothing, because it's really hard for me to listen to music on the side. Whenever I hear music, it grabs almost all of my attention, so I can't focus on anything else anymore. So I rarely ever hear music on the side. So someone's asking, usually when I sidechain Ableton's compressor, I get very little gain reduction. You just pull down the threshold all the way. Use the glue compressor. That's the one I use, and just pull down the threshold all the way. And then you get more gain reductions. Yes, I'm planning 2 albums. The first one's going to be on Friday. It's sort of an album because some tracks are only about a minute. So it's about 30 minutes of music, I think. Which plugin cost you the much? The ones I have, I think it's those orchestra packages that were like $800 or something like that. Oh, and then I have the whole... No, but it wasn't even that expensive. The Native Instruments complete. But I bought it. This is a great tip. If you want to have some software, subscribe to the developer's newsletter, because sometimes when it's Black Friday or something, or for whatever reason, their anniversary or stuff like that, they reduce the prices by 50%. So if you think, oh, I want to have this library, but it's a little pricey, subscribe to the newsletter and wait until you get a discount. How do you decide the key of the song? First of all, randomly, whatever feels right. But I often, when I have the chords and the melodies, I shift around a little to make it, so it sounds good. So I just write chords and melodies, and after I have them, I'm often like, it could be a little higher, could be a little lower, also depending on the sounds that I use. What do you think about FL Studio? I don't have much experience with it. But I think it must be a great piece of software because it's used by a lot of great producers. And you can make great music with all the common digital audio workstations. Anyway, Logic, Ableton Live, Cubase, they're all great. Could you react? Only one question at a time. Let me scroll down. Could you say something about your school days? I hated them. I totally hated school. It was horrible. Also because the teachers were not so good, really. They were like annoyed. And also I didn't get along with my classmates very well. I did not. How do you make strings sound so natural? This is a great question. So I spend a lot of time on editing. So I have a great sample library with melodic strings, and I spend a lot of time to make them sound as good as I can. And then I get a violin player, and I have the violin player. I give him the score, just his melodies, and I have him play the melody 16 times and stack that on top of the synthetic strings. So the synthetic strings, the sample strings, they make the sound fat, and the actual player makes it come alive. So this is how I, for example, do. Oops. Right, this is a mixture of a real violin player recorded 16 times and sample library strings, which I did a lot of editing to make them sound natural. So you automate the volume and the vibrato and everything. Do you like memes? And if you, yes, I like them. If you have memed, what's your favorite TheFatRat meme? Yeah, I posted one recently on Instagram where it's like Mark Wahlberg plus Robert Downey Jr. equals, and then what's my face? It's hilarious. You can look it up on my Instagram. Did you ever play Triangle? Weird, useless question that nobody notices. No! But now that you say it, I played drums in an orchestra once, and it was the funniest thing ever. I'm going to tell you the story now, because it was the Indian Hallen des Bergkönigs, so it's dum 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 dum. This one, you probably know it, and it gets faster and faster, right? And if you play the drums, you can do dum dum dum. Like this, not at the start, but later on. And when I had the first rehearsal, I was just on the last rehearsal before the actual show. When I had the rehearsal, the conductor told me, I can do what I want here. You, Chris, you make the tempo, because if I conduct faster, if you don't punch if you don't beat the drum faster, they won't accelerate. But if you do, they will. And I was like, oh, that's cool, that's fun. And it was so cool in the when we were on stage, because I would just play it faster and faster, and everybody, they had no choice but to follow. And it was so funny. And it was faster and faster, faster. Otherwise, I was like that. It was real fun because it's so simple to do it, and it was everybody else was sweating because it was going faster and faster. It was fun. Yep. So I played drums. Do you have a chord progression you really like? I have a lot of chord progressions that I like. Like I said, I love playing. I like playing major chords on a minor key, like this. Okay, that's what I do a lot. So it's a major chord. Then it's like, for example, C major, and then I play E flat major. So the scale is minor, but the chords are major. All major chords. Do you make all your money with music, or do you have another job? No, I actually make a lot of money now, very easily, from streams, YouTube and Spotify, and people buy my music. So I'm very, very blessed. I can make a great living out of it now. When did you start making music? I started producing when I was 21, which was in 2001. And I started making music when I grew up. Like with 4 years, I started playing the flute. What's your daughter's name? It's Flavia. How long will the stream be on? Not that much longer. I will say goodbye to you soon. A few more questions. Who sings a Warrior song? Oh, I forgot her name. I found her through the internet. I'm gonna tag her, but I really don't have the name in my head right now. Can we see you perform in Germany soon? Yes, probably. Just follow me on my social media. I won't tell about shows that are not booked yet, but I might have a show in August, I think. What was your first song ever, and could you play it for us? Let me look. That's a nice question. Let me think. So in the meantime, while I'm searching for one of my for the first song, how do you start a song? There's no specific way to start a song, either with chords or melody, or sometimes a sound, sometimes a sample. Is your wife working, or are you paying so much that nobody else has to? No, she's not working. I can sustain my whole family based on my YouTube channel mainly and on Spotify. Do you usually find melody first or chord progression? Often start with the chord progression. So before we quit, I can play you one of the first or the oldest song of mine that I could find on Spotify. Like, some of you guys probably know, I've been producing for other artists, for other projects, for whatever stuff for a really long time. Before then, I won't T-pose. Before then, I started doing my own project, TheFatRat, and when I started, it was just for fun. And but before that, and now it became a great thing. Before that, I did my very own music. Cool. So I'm gonna play you one of the really old songs of mine, and it's funny because I think you can somehow recognize me. Yeah, goodbye to whoever has good bad. No, not Renee. No, I'm not gonna dance now.
Hello, are you there? The cables are checked. I'm on air and ready to connect. You need the password to unlock my call. Don't hesitate, push the button and all I can see is a picture of you standing next to me. Am I the one and only? Don't walk away, baby, I want you to stay. Tell me you love me, the one and only. Say that you need me, you want me, locked in my baby. Take me and set me free. All receive for the love from me, baby. Tell me you love me, the one and only. Say that you need me, you want me, locked in my baby. Take me and set me free. All receive for the love from me, baby. Tell me you love me, you love me, you love me.
Yeah, someone mentioned Cascada. Exactly, that was my job back in the days. The record label was saying, "Hey, can you please make something like and then was like, "Yeah, of course I can do that." And then I would produce stuff like, for example, Cascada or Cascada or whatever it's called in English. Exactly, but you can. It's funny because you can. For me, the fun part was this. No, not this. This one. So this was like me doing my thing and was like, okay, here's your Cascada drop, whatever stuff. So this is one of the very early songs. I think it was in 2007 when I did this. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much. Any other urgent questions? I'll hit Discord real quick. Legendary LOL, you can post the Discord link. Do you write the lyrics yourself? Yes, mostly. And sometimes I have a guy from UK helping me with the lyrics, but so far it was never written by the artist. So neither Laura or Angeli or Lola did write any of the lyrics or the melodies. So that was all me, together with John from the UK sometimes, or the calling. Yeah, cool. So this is the Discord, the Discord link. Thank you very much for watching. Was a pleasure. Lots of fun. Love you all. Love you all. And yeah, see you next Saturday. Same time, same place.